everyone, I'm Tanzila Khan. I'm from Pakistan, and recently one of my reels on my Instagram actually surpassed 500,000 views. And of course, as a content creator, that brought me a lot of joy because we all want our content to just take over the world. But for me, my particular joy came from the fact that the reel was about disability and something that disability related traveling or disabled travelers, something that we experience or just have the fear of, and no one talks about it. Now, what was the reel? The reel was actually a comedy one, and I like to keep things very light because I think life should be light. It was a simple reel of me looking out of the window, and I'm in an aircraft, we're about to take off, and I just noticed that my wheelchair is still on the runway, on the tarmac, and we're about to leave. And this could be a nightmare, but right now the question is that, did this happen with me recently? No. Has this happened with me ever in life? Yes. Am I homebound right now? Yes. Is it because the airline that I was flying with broke my wheelchair? Yes. So although these two incidents are different, but one has happened to me in the past and the other one just happened recently. So I thought that why not, let's just put out some information for anybody who could be experiencing something similar, or if they've gone through it, or even airline in its own way, to understand the perspective of what happens if airlines mishandle wheelchair, which includes either just completely leaving it behind or breaking it. So we'll just talk about what happens if the airline breaks your wheelchair in this video. Now, in my experience, I have traveled to more than 30 countries. I have taken local Pakistani airlines, I have taken European airlines, international airlines, all these leading airlines that connect through transits, Qatar, Turkish, Emirates, all of these remarkable airlines, no doubt about it. But incidents do occur like these, and yes, wheelchairs are mishandled. That is solely because of lack of training, lack of understanding. Reasons could be plenty, but I know the reason is never that, hey, I'm gonna break this wheelchair. I mean, I like it so much, I'm gonna break it. The reason is never that. Airlines don't do that on purpose. Let's just park that. But I do feel that everything that airlines do right after that makes the difference, tells the world what kind of brand they are, what kind of people are employed in those leadership positions, and what they actually think about the customers that actually go ahead and buy the tickets of those airlines. Otherwise, how else will that airline run? Right now, I'm particularly talking about Willing. I think it's a Brazilian airline, and the reason why I'm taking name is not to like malign them or give them a bad name, but because everything that I'm about to say is fact, it's documented, and there's no lie in it, but it's true, so there's no harm in talking about the truth. So what happened was that I was flying from the Canary Islands back to Sweden, and that required a transit in Barcelona. So I started off from Gran Canaria with a 5-hour transit, and in my first flight, as per protocol, I'm supposed to remove the battery from my wheelchair, keep it with me, and then the wheelchair is sent off to be taken into the cargo. So once we land, which could be anywhere, either in transit or in destination, the wheelchair could be brought back, and I can attach the battery and just go on with my day. Now, mostly transits are long, and it is definitely needed that wheelchairs are provided in transit, because like I say, that you don't miraculously grow your legs in transits and just enjoy duty free. You still need your wheelchair to go to the bathroom or to be mobile or just do nothing. They're part of your body. So my wheelchair was brought to me, and good airlines do that, but it was broken. Now, how it was broken was that the joystick has a wire, and at the end of that wire there's a little connection that connects with the battery. That's how it becomes a powered wheelchair. But in this case, that little part was completely cut off, which means, as per my experience, that now it's getting evening, so my video is getting darker, but bear with me and stay with me, you might like the story. What happened was, let me just turn on the light one sec, that's a better idea. Completely forgot I'm living in the age of light, so I could totally use that light for sure. Anyway, so in this case, when I landed, my wheelchair was definitely not usable, because how, like, where would I connect the joystick with the battery? So I was in panic, because honestly I'm so tired of these experiences. I've traveled so much, there's no need to panic. Instead, all that energy needs to be used towards finding a solution, and my energy affects the energy of everyone around me. So as a beneficiary, if I keep up my leadership and I keep calm and focus and help everyone direct their energy towards finding a solution rather than calming me down, that's a better use of time. So I did that. It was 2 a.m. in the night anyways, and the person who had come to receive me, the helper, took me to the desk where I could, just file the PIR. I'm forgetting what it stands for, but it's like almost like, the first complaint that you can document. The problem from that point onwards, I felt, was that most airlines treat wheelchairs just like your baggage. They can't understand the difference. They can't see that baggage is baggage. Wheelchair is literally a part of the passenger's body. So number one, it has to be handled in a very sensitive way, and particularly assistive devices and wheelchairs are very sensitive. They may look like these amazing machines that have battery and they look so high tech and all of that, but they're actually very sensitive machines. You can just lose one nail from these wheelchairs and you're not able to use it. And look at the impact of it. One wheelchair is the support system of an individual. It's like literally the life support system. So although very sensitive in nature, they have a huge part to play in somebody's life, and traveling is always stressful. So airlines could play a huge role in mitigating these stressors. In my case, unfortunately, I did not feel any difference. I did not feel that they saw what they're putting me through and what they're about to put me through. For example, during transit, it was 2 a.m. I was just parked at some cafe. There wasn't much to do. I had to sleep there. If I needed help, there was no one I could call. If I needed anything, if I needed food, there was nothing I could do, because the person who was supposed to help me was supposed to go and continue with their duty. Their job is not to stay with me and give me company for 5 hours. I get that. But because of your negligence, I've been put in a position that has double disabled me. One, I was disabled by birth, by God, but now you managed to disable me again. So it's like a double scoop of disability. Now, I'm there, 5 hours passed. I'm so tired that I don't even want to think about the misery I'm in. And then finally, somebody came to help me. I went to the bathroom, had some water, and just got on the next flight to come to Sweden, where I live. Now, the problem began when I reached there and they told me, number one, they don't have a local office here. You have to call them. And I'm like, dude, I live alone. How the hell am I going home? Please explain that to me. They have no answers. They have no guidance. The website says nothing. And then they put you on this weird chatbot system that doesn't work. It gave me errors 5 times. Now, yes, I do have friends because I'm not a loser. I access that support system because it's available to me because of myself. It's not available to everyone. People do not have friends. People do not socialize. Not everyone is as active as I am in terms of socializing, and they live alone. They literally live alone. And in that case, what do you do? That's the point. Thinking from that point of view, I actually thought that if I was alone, like, there was no way I could get home. But I got home thanks to my friends. And then once I got home, finally I got hold of a phone number through excessive research. I mean, there's no information available. What happens if you break your wheelchair or your assistive device? So Willing treats baggage and wheelchairs alike. And that is the problem. Now, finally, I get hold of a phone number. Probably my call is still documented. I called them. I said, look, guys, you're putting me through this. I'm homebound because of your negligence. I need answers. And they said, you know what, you need to find a repair person on your own. Tell them to file a claim with us. I'm like, do you realize the time? Like, I am homebound. You broke my wheelchair. It's my life support. And I was very vocal about the fact that if during this time something happens to me, you're responsible, because God forbid if there's a fire in this building, I'm unable to get out because of not having my wheelchair. You're responsible. So I hope that's documented, and that's also very important because we have to document everything that could have happened. That's very important. Anyways, in my experience, they did not give me a very good answer. That call actually ended abruptly because I was super frustrated and upset. And then I had to make a lot of noise using my social media platforms, which also says that if you don't have a voice online, probably you're never getting hurt, because the airline gives you no platform to even hear you out. Now, finally, I got some attention either from Twitter or from LinkedIn or from Instagram, and they reached out. We had a conversation on email. First on phone, they called me and they said, okay, we hear you, we hear that we broke your wheelchair. What do you want? And I said, I want wheelchair for a wheelchair. I don't want a repaired wheelchair because it's not the same thing. I want a wheelchair for a wheelchair. They said, okay, fine, we'll give you a wheelchair. I said, fine, we're gonna celebrate once that has happened. So currently, as we speak right now, where we're at is that they have asked me to give them an invoice. It's okay for me to not take the money. They can directly pay the company and the company can deliver the wheelchair to me. That's totally fine. But the entire experience has literally made me question the whole system and the lack of awareness and the lack of training and the lack of empathy that these airlines have. I mean, we're literally putting ourselves in your care when we purchase these tickets. And none of these things are like alien ideas. People with disabilities exist everywhere. Old people exist everywhere. Accessibility, the devices that we use for it, it exists. It's not something that was invented yesterday. And if things like these happen, which is not the fault of airline, if they break it, accidents do happen. What you do after the accident, that is something that you should be responsible for. And in this case, with Willing's experience, I'm only able to reach the right people because of all this distress that I'm put through. I've left anything that I had to do. I don't have time to cook my lunch, but I have to sit down, look for the right contact. Whereas the process could have been much more simpler. Someone from the airline should have come to visit me. Oh, we broke your wheelchair. We want to know if you're okay. Somebody would have called me every day. This is our phone number. This is our headquarters. Give us a call if you need something. And you can definitely filter out if someone is trying to take advantage of that situation. You should, I mean, of course, you're running an airline. You definitely have that IQ. But to even shut the communication channels that we don't even want to hear from you, go away. Go just you have this little number of your complaint, the ticket number. Just deal with it, like. And I'm just having that ticket number going around, asking what to do about it. What help can I get? So all in all, the distress, the robbing of my confidence, that is something that has scarred me. That has made me question if being independent is something I would want to continue doing with, or should I just live with an attendant who should be there to take care of these things. But that's not the solution. And as much as I advocate for independence of everybody and to push for a system that's more just, I think airlines really need to step up their game. Willing really needs to step up their game. They have to get more knowledge and understanding on disability. They have to train their staff. They have to have better communication channels for people with disabilities. So I will be updating everybody who has watched this video on what happened next. Did they provide me with a wheelchair? What kind of conversation we had? And let's try to create a good example out of this, that yes, this happened, but systems changed and other people with disabilities will not have to face the same thing again. That is the goal. That is the motivation. So please connect with me if this is the kind of knowledge and lived experiences would be helpful to you. And please reach out to me if you have any questions, because I know Willing is not the only airline that has brought me to this. There are other airlines from local to international, but we need to develop this collective voice in changing the system for good. And I definitely support putting my energy into finding a solution rather than complaining. That has never helped anybody. And definitely, even if it's anger should be channelized, because anger is energy itself. Yes, I am angry, I am hurt, but I'm going to channelize that into finding a solution and finding a better system. And it would be great if you can join me on that journey.